Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Ryan Abramo. I'm from Schack Institute of Real Estate at NYU. We are Team 54, and I just wanted to introduce my team. Right here we have Aaron Lenza. Aaron, take a step up here. He's our construction guru, and he's pursuing a master's in construction management. Adi Osotubo, also pursuing a construction management degree, and he is our rendering and architect expert. Lastly is Grant Palermo, who's pursuing our finance degree, finance and investment. And we have one other member here who's not here today, Dave Brown. She's watching out there. Hey, Dave. Unfortunately, he can't be here, but he is also a development track. And before we begin, I wanted to thank the judges, HUD, Bergen County Housing Authority, for having us putting this together. It's been a really great experience. I think I speak for everyone, all the teams, a really great learning experience. I hope you guys do it again. So let me get started. We designed a community within a community, the DuBois Veterans Community. The goal here was to provide something that would be not only beautiful aesthetically, but also create a public and private entity. And while doing that, we also wanted to take three things really in mind, what we call a triple bottom line, which is social, economic, and environmental impact. So in terms of public to private, the DuBois House is an existing structure, dates back to 1770. So we wanted to preserve it, renovate it, and have it as a community facility where there could be organized events, where the veterans can use it, and also the Legion, American Legion Chapter 269 would have a beautiful new home for them to use to hold their meetings. So that's the DuBois House. Next is the Recreation Center, or multi-purpose facility. That's going to have a small office for a caseworker, two caseworkers actually. It's going to have a small storage facility where when the people come in, veterans come in, they have somewhere to put stuff. It's also going to have a classroom for essential classes for skill development, a computer lab, and a small lounge area for they could watch a ball game together. Veterans can come together in one place. Next is the actual design of the residences. We created 20 residences, 2 units per building. Out of the 20 units, 16 are ADA fully accessible. That's something we really wanted to stress and make sure that nobody, or as many people as possible were not restricted from the site. Additionally, we decided to build these using modular construction for a couple of reasons, but the main reasons being cost-effective, cut down on construction time, and also, you have to take into consideration the neighbors around us. And by doing modular, we're able to build this fully off-site and provide minimal impact to the actual landscape and minimal disturbance to the neighbors. And we thought that was really important because these are people that might be, not in my backyard types, and we want to make sure that they're disturbed as little as possible. And the separation of the buildings was really designed to give each veteran their own private home while also allowing for a community feel with open courtyards, which you can see here. Green courtyards, vegetable gardens in the middle, flower beds. So some real serenity. You want them to be as comfortable as possible. As for the exterior of the property, again, neighbors in mind, they were currently looking at a barren site, basically nothing there. So we put hedges around the entire perimeter, provide them with some natural beauty. It also provided a barrier for privacy purposes. No one's peering into their property and vice versa. Additionally, we created full accessibility around the site for a small vehicle, pathways, pedestrian pathways that cut through, additional parking in the back, and a turnaround for vehicles, and also for anyone who needs to remove stuff from the site, a bus, or snow removal. I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, who's going to discuss a little bit about the cost-effective and sustainable measures we took.
Good afternoon. After phase one, we went back to the drawing board and we decided how could we get the most wheelchair access out of the logistics of this site. So what we did was we started working on the north side. The north side is the left side right here. What we did to these 6 buildings right here was we did further excavation to drop these buildings by 5 feet. The way this site plan now works is that there's first floor access through the path on the left side over here on the transition area of the property, and the second floor entrances are accessed through the courtyard. By lowering these units, we were able to get 80% wheelchair capacity on site. One of the other things that really was terrific about this was that we didn't sacrifice direct sunlight by lowering these windows because it was only 5 feet. And we also didn't sacrifice cross ventilation, which we feel is very important for ideal living, especially people who come back from war. Our plan also has other sustainability elements that are definitely important to speak about. We thought about using the gambrel roof as seen as on the original De Born house in all of our units on this map. But after speaking with a few people in the renewable energy industry, we found that the flat roof design was actually more functional and affordable for this project. We plan on putting photovoltaic panels on all of these buildings to produce approximately 6,000 square feet of renewable energy sources. What we'll also be doing is we'll be offsetting our own energy use, and we'll be creating operational income by selling back these credits in SREC. Also, we'll be pursuing LEED certification, and we'll be using no VOC products and using efficient closed envelope systems to provide the best quality of life for these veterans. And now Adi will be speaking more about our site plan, our logistics, and getting into the interiors of these units.
Yeah, good afternoon. The design features, the topography, the plateau, we kept this feature in place. We took the advantage of what the topography gave us. We were able to split levels, drop levels, and create forms, shapes, and aestheticisms out of this. By dropping row on the left, we were still able to achieve optimal cross ventilation and direct sunlight. How do we achieve this balance? By cross ventilating this unit. We eliminated one building from our phase one to fully ventilate and air circulate the courtyard. We increased the openings of these lower units and eliminate the shutters that allow us to align openings on the exterior. This is classic architectural element with modular design. Exterior window shutters, AFCO shades, exterior siding, clapboards. We maintain the existing grade levels of driveway and project that further into the property that transit into pathway on the north side of the property. I will go into the interior. We provide ideal units with interior space management, less interior dividing walls for better distribution of natural light and cross ventilation, open kitchen concept that allow accessibility to components and usage, ideal ADA design components in bathrooms, wheelchair users, wall mount sink, closed couple ADA eco toilets and ADA bathware fittings. The open floor plans, modern design and features that gives the unit ease of use to the residents. Cross ventilation units with standard living space. Now I'm going to hand over to Aaron to speak about the operations.
Because we are in veterans, while developing the conceptual ideas for this project, it it was hard to imagine what these people need first. We had the opportunity to speak with Colonel Tom Griffin. He does veterans housing in California. We found him and interviewed him, and he told us we got to get back to the basics with these veterans. So with his inspiration, we were inspired to create a multi-phased program towards self-efficiency for these veterans who will be living here. We provided additional finances to allow for caseworkers to be on site mostly at all times. Phase 1, as you can see here, starts with an introductory phase. When the veterans arrive on site, they agree to a clean and sober living atmosphere, and immediately they start to get back to the basics, learning social skills and responsibilities like doing their own laundry, learning how to cook again, and really being responsible. In phase 2, we start to bring the community to them and them to the community, which is really great for Emerson. So we started at the DeBaun House. There are a few small things on the DeBaun House renovation that will require some help. And for the veterans who are able to work on it, under the assistance of veteran contractors, they'll be able to recreate the porch the original house had, which we think is really neat. In addition, we plan on having an Emerson Day, where all sorts of neighboring families and people from the community can come and spend time with the veterans and kick off these vegetable gardens that you see in the center of our site. And finally, phase 3. Phase 3 is the road to self-efficiency for these veterans. We hope that they'll start to have employment and they'll become completely responsible for their lives. And now, our captain, Ryan, will speak more about our facilities.
Thanks, Aaron. All right, so quickly, integration operations plan. Let me quickly go through everything that we have. Really, one thing that we saw and I described before was the plan of the accessibility and getting around in the small vehicle. We actually found a small business, veteran-owned, who custom makes golf carts. So we actually built into our pro forma purchasing one of these. However, he actually volunteered to donate one. So this would be provided for move-ins, getting around the property if anyone needs extra assistance, and also for maintenance purposes. As for the DeBaun House, we added a patio in the back with a barbecue so that the veterans can have something to use to cook and have a little cookout, 4th of July, bring in the American Legion, put those two together, hot dogs. It's a great way to really bring that community within a community together. As for the recreation house I mentioned before, small classroom to learn essential skills, job training, a computer lab for educational use. And as for the DeBaun House, one thing we really wanted to touch on, Aaron already mentioned the porch. Aside from the patio and the porch, was restoring it to its former glory. It's real beauty. I mean, from the 1770s, you look at these pictures, we have one up there on the board. It was really gorgeous, and it's kind of really deteriorated over time. So we wanted to really strip it down bare, put a lot of money into it, expose the beams, and have it used for community events, organized community events, veterans classes, people from outside of the community come in, volunteer their time to teach these veterans essential skills. And also we wanted to host 2 fundraisers per year to help fund our operations, which we think is achievable. And I think that's pretty much it. I guess the last thing to say was the DeBaun House was really important to renovate because we really wanted to give something to the American Legion that provided this very favorable lease to Bergen County. So the least we could do for them was provide them with something that we thought they'd be really proud of and happy to come into for their meetings. I'm going to turn it over to Grant to discuss our financials.
Thank you, Ryan. Apologize. Financials. Looks a little overbearing. I'm not going to get bogged down with the numbers, more big picture idea. So for financing, there are existing policies that create veterans permanent supportive housing by combining established affordable housing financing programs with supportive services to help veterans find the assistance they need in a stable and affordable environment. There are really three main elements of successful veteran permanent supportive housing that really breaks the cycle of homelessness. There's property-based rental assistance, which is essential for servicing extremely low-income veterans. There's the second, which is little or no hard debt, which makes capital from the low-income housing tax credits, home loans, and other gap financing sources really essential. And the third being supportive services. And that's funded by dedicated sources that allow the housing operations and the services to be sustained side by side. I'm first going to just take you through the sources and uses, then look at the operations, and then the last slide is going to be a little more granular look at the different tax credit programs. So for the sources, we looked at rental housing programs. So the low-income housing tax credit, known as LIHTC, or housing credits, is the largest federal rental housing development program, and most veteran housing properties really rely on this for their financing. So for many of these properties, the credit pays for more than half of the development cost. Developers compete for allocations of credits, and they're awarded by state agencies. And then they typically set the allocation to investors who provide the upfront capital to develop the property. This is usually a dollar-for-dollar transaction, but they're, I think, currently being traded at 90 cents on the dollar. So these investors make a long-term commitment to the property and receive federal tax credits as long as the property operates as pledged. So in our financing, we show two different structures, the 4% LIHTC and the 9% LIHTC. So the 4% is paired with tax-exempt bonds, and they're a little easier to obtain, but they provide fewer dollars for the same deal, and there's added transaction costs when financing with tax-exempt bonds. So this structure, however, as you can see, creates a gap. So we're going to need other sources of financing to supplement that. Some of the I won't go through each source, but the Robin Hood Grant Foundation typically has been very generous for grants servicing veterans. The Oritani Bank is a regional bank, and the home loan banks typically provide capital assistance to affordable housing properties. And so these banks provide 10% of their net income each year to aid projects such as this. Some of the other ones is the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation. This is the largest nonprofit philanthropic organization. The Emerson Trust, which was outlined in the guidelines, it's dependent on certain regulations relating to the development. I think that there is a risk associated with this because state and local commitments to permanent supportive housing usually vary, and they're subject to budget cycles. The last form of funding was crowdfunding debt. And this is a new idea. It's on a very basic level. It's a method of raising money from the general public for a specific project or for the purpose through a designated website. It's basically online funding. The reason why we allocated such a small portion of that is because there are certain risks associated with this. This is a new idea, but we thought to implement this as just another idea to get across as a source of funding. The second program is the 9% LIHTC, which provides significantly more dollars for rehab and other constructions, but they're more competitive. And so it's usually, they provide 50% loan to value or 50% loan to cost. And we pair that with a D21, D4 loan. This is great because it provides financing just one source. So it acts as the construction loan and also the permanent loan. In terms of you don't have to, go to a separate lender for a construction loan or go to a separate lender for a permanent loan. This is, all in one. Now I'm going to just discuss the uses of the sources. So we had a total development cost that came to $4.7 million. Originally, we proposed shipping container units, but after conducting additional research, we discovered it would be more expensive because the steel containers had to be cut. That would compromise the structural integrity, and it needed to be reinforced. So it cut our cost on a per square foot basis down to roughly $200. We also spoke
Grant, I don't want to interrupt you because you're doing a great job explaining this, but we're really running out of time, so you're going to need to wrap.
All right, so I'll just go to the last slide here. Basically, I wanted to show you the difference between the 4% and 9% program, and the main difference is really it just generates more tax credits, which means more equity in the deal. So if you're looking at this graphic on the right here, it shows the two different programs, and you're getting 2.3 times more equity in the deal for the 9% versus the 4%. So while the vast majority of low-income housing tax credit projects provide shelter for families and seniors generally, we think this can be categorized as a niche development, which is why we think it's viable for a 9% option. So I think in this project's case, it's niche because it's hitting a certain type of demographic. These are homeless veterans, and it's specialized by the type of development. It's a adaptive reuse of a historic property.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Just wanted to quickly just wrap it up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Again, it's sustainable. The whole idea really is to put this package together, provide our servicemen and women with somewhere to really live and rest their head at night. And we think a real community within community in Emerson will, with our plan, would really get that job done.
Great. Okay, let's move to questions. Thank you. Deb, will you start us off?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I actually have two unrelated questions. So my first question is on your sources of funds. Maybe we can go to that page. Kudos to you if you can get all these philanthropic sources of funds for your project. I'm going to come ask you how you do it. But tell me what's your plan? How are you going to go about this? How are you going to structure your entity to go after these philanthropic sources? And then can you explain what the additional equity is in the project, what that source is?
Sure. So basically, we were going to structure the entity as a nonprofit, which is why we ended up putting the crowdfunding in as debt and not equity. So there wouldn't be ownership in the property for additional sources. And I think, mainly to probably team up with an experienced developer who's done similar housing projects of this nature. I've spoke with, people in the industry that have done transitional supportive housing for homeless veterans, and they also have, permanent supportive housing in their pipeline. VOA, I reached out to them. They've been, pretty active in the space. Right. Mm-hmm. I think in terms of you need to find people that are very experienced and maybe team up with them. I spoke to someone that runs an initiative in Westchester County called the Patriot Act Initiative, and he's trying to get homeless veterans housing within 100 days, and he's been very successful. So I kind of asked him how he went about the grant process, and he said it's a full-time deal. He's working on it all day and night, but he said typically you need 6 to 8 sources of funding for these types of deals, and so you can't really rely on one specific, source of funding.
Right, and then the additional equity line item? So
additional equity, we thought for the per diem grants, but we actually, after reaching out to them, they currently don't have funds that they're putting out at the moment, so we've kind of...
In the future, we're hoping they'll get funding and would provide the additional equity. Usually they provide about 60 up to 65%, I believe, of construction costs. So we thought maybe they would be I believe it was the HODA Veterans Association that was providing that per diem. So because they don't have funding now, it was something that was forward-looking because obviously this isn't taking place now. It's hopefully in the future.
In our phase 1 submissions, we had sourced that, and then...
Okay.
Sorry.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a question about the physical planning. There's a loop road around the outside which accesses the lower floor apartments, and then there's circulation through the center that accesses the upper floor apartments. Is that correct? It looks like, and you didn't show it on the screen, there's a section in the lower left-hand corner of the second board that looks like you have to walk up a full flight of stairs from the site to any of the apartments. Is that? I'm looking on the board here.
You're talking about this unit here?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm talking about, I'm seeing it on the board there. Do you have to?
These 1, 2, 3, 4 units
Uh-huh.
have second floors that are not ADA accessible.
Uh-huh.
So that's our 20%. Every other unit on the property is fully wheelchair accessible.
Okay, so by dropping the grade on the outside, that helps you provide accessibility both to the lower and to
Yes.
the upper.
We achieve that by having courtyard ramps up to the second floor units, and then just walk-in at grade level units on the north side in the back.
Okay, thanks.
I was intrigued. It feels like you're occupying a lot of the site here. Did you consider tree preservation or what kind of buffer you need for your neighbors? How does that fit into your planning?
I mean, it's funny actually because we had a speaker in one of my classes yesterday who was talking about Stuytown and what happened with Stuytown and how Tushman really went in there really aggressively and didn't speak to the tenants about what their plan was. I think we really thought about kind of addressing that by going to them, just letting them know what we were doing. And we talked about providing them with something that's not there right now. They're really looking onto a barren lot. It's pretty much an eyesore. If anything, I would say it devalues their properties. And it also might be a little bit of a liability issue because they have a shaky fence. So we wanted to really provide some aesthetic beauty, even though in the rendering it's not there, like hedges, so that it really cuts them, gives them like a barrier between the two. I don't know if that answers the question. In regards to occupying the space, we did have an additional unit here which we removed, and we didn't really want to put them together and cluster them up like army barracks because we felt that would be a disadvantage in terms of kind of recuperating. We wanted them to feel like it was their own home and they had privacy, but also the accessibility to a large public space.
You mentioned the staffing would include 2 social workers. What organizations would you imagine that you'd be partnering with in terms of getting services to residents? And then do you also anticipate that there would be a private property manager in addition to the social work staff?
Yes, I actually forgot to mention that. There were 3 employees that we hired. 2 were social workers. One's part-time, one's full-time. The full-time would reside in the renovated DeBaun house. The upper floor is actually living quarters. So we thought to save on cost, we would renovate that, and instead of providing a full salary, we would subsidize their salary for living wages. Another part-time.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Just in terms of, wasn't able to touch on this just in terms of time purposes, but operating subsidies, we did look at the VASH voucher program as well as Section 8, and we basically came to the notion that if we allocated 10 vouchers per each, that that could help with full-time staffing as well as the rental subsidies.
And we would have a repair person that's part-time, a super.
But we did work that into our numbers.
That's all in the pro forma.
Okay, I think I'll take the last question. We have a couple minutes. Ade, tell me about the unit plan. I heard a lot of reference to cross ventilation, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. So talk to me about the unit layout and about that interior space.
Yeah, can I have
Do you want
the plan? Yeah, this is the unit layout. We have the bedroom on this side. The cross ventilation, we have 2 windows here, 2 openings here. Then we have 1 on this side, so that provides a cross ventilation to this unit. And that's the living room right there, right in the middle. So we have 2 openings right here. We have the door. We have the dining space with windows here. Then we have windows at the back, which we have room to double. And the kitchen is open. We have opening there. We have opening here. So there is complete, cross ventilation and natural light, coming in.
And tell us about the grade. So is this an example of a unit that's at that lower level?
Yeah, this is the ground level. This is our level 1. The ground level. What we did, we make use of the window sill level to drop it. Actually, we went 4.5 feet. Yeah, 4.5 feet. And the windows at the back, on the lower level, the one we dropped to 01, there are no shutters there. So that allows us to double the opening. We have the elevations, but we couldn't put everything
Sure.
on the board. So we got rid of the shutters to double the openings because we have shutters on the upper levels. So by increasing the openings, we're able to align our windows because there's what is called balance in design. So
Okay.
we don't want to create like a distorted openings. So
Okay.
we're able to, to achieve.
How big are those units? How large are those units?
It's 480 square feet.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I think we might be out of time. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.